see either.
Well, we're all blind.
Yep.
So we're recording now?
Yeah, it's recording already.
All right.
Cool.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
I don't know how to start this.
No, you're good. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hi.
Hi.
Ooh.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't even hear me.
I think I need to do that again. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. Hi.
Hi.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Be
Uplifted.
Uplifted. This feels so weird, Loki, because Ari's not here. So I need like another hi. It's just me. So
Yeah, you're not going to get that from me.
I know I'm not.
That's my shtick, you know. Got to stick with it.
Your
Got to
shtick.
stick with it.
All right, guys. So yeah, I'm with the boys today. So in the comments, please type "Save Lani." I'm just kidding.
Hey, everybody, carry a sign in case you see her on the streets.
Yes.
Save Lani. That's going to be a nice shirt. We should get some merch. Save Lani.
If you guys think we should get some merch, put it in the comments below.
Yes. But before we start, we'd like to thank our sponsors for this episode, Mikey's Meals. If you're in the San Diego area and you're looking for excellent, tasty meal preps, I was looking for the tasty part.
Yeah.
You can use our code TheBabes10 on MikeysMeals.com to save 10% off your next order. And of course, we always like to thank Vince for letting us use this space. You can book this space for any of your photography or your podcast needs. And just, I guess, message him or I don't, are you guys on Peerspace?
Yes, we're on Peerspace.
Yes, they are. He doesn't like to self-promote for some reason, but they are on Peerspace, and it's the Pixel Lounge SD on Instagram.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a dope space, so definitely highly recommend. Not just because we always are here, but it's really dope.
Yes.
I can't hear me. Hold on. You guys can start.
All right.
Okay.
So today,
Da-dong.
I don't think the thing's all the way in on his headphones.
this
Anyway, so our topic today.
is self-awareness.
Yes. Basically realizing your strength. What does that say? Realizing your strength and your weaknesses.
Why am I so nervous about this? Because I feel like y'all can't get vulnerable just with me. Like I need Ari to help me pull the teeth off of this one.
Actually, I thought about this episode because I thought about you. And I think it's like your growth. It's like to talk about like how your growth, how you're realizing your, because I know the last episode we talk about, we kind of used the whole Jackson 5 metaphor.
Yeah.
And I think that at some point you had to actually kind of gain some sort of insight and know where your strengths are to pull yourself away from that. And I think that's a great story or a great topic for people to learn how you actually went about realizing your strength. And of course, once it's not only important that you realize your strength, it's also knowing your weaknesses to go, above and beyond that. And of course, now that you're officially a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, no, but again, that's another set of strengths and weaknesses that you're going to have to figure out.
Right, and overcome for sure. Okay, so y'all can ask me questions today.
Wow.
Is it too bright? That's what.
And it's not too bright.
I don't know. Hold on.
Wait.
Perfectionist.
People watching this episode are going to be like, damn, you guys are, this episode started going everywhere. But so, we talked about how, you basically, you have your family business, and at some point you were still attached to a certain part of that now you're no longer attached to.
Yes. And,
being so young, I mentioned in the last podcast that, you're not necessarily like, it's unfair to think that a child at 13, 14, 15, or however old you were.
all at one time.
Yeah. all at one time would know what their strengths are, especially trying to run a family business. So you're basically just like, to use the term, like you were just like a mule.
Yeah.
You were just a pawn. You just put out there as a showcase. When was it that you slowly realized that, hey, I have a say in this too, and I have my own, my own point of views and my own tactics and my own strategies to get to where you guys are now with Asanas and Co.
Okay, let's break down the question because that was a lot at one time.
I know.
Okay, so what was the first one?
Well, when did you realize that you were more than just the
DJ.
prodigy? I'm gonna use a prodigy
Sorry.
DJ.
That's okay.
You know, the that one kind of like the act.
Yeah. Well, I knew like, okay, so I've always been around music and stuff, but when we actually like specialize in doing like weddings and stuff like that, what actually interests me a lot was more so like interacting with the clients, having that connection with them, and just basically bringing their vision to life than just music. You know, like music for sure is a great part in, you know, weddings. It's one of the most important, I would say. But yeah, I just felt like there was more to me than just DJing. Like I knew my purpose was not just DJing, especially because it came to a point where I didn't start falling in love with DJing. You know, I fell out of love with it. So I think that's what it was. And I just got tired of like all the BS that came with that extra party that was with it. And especially like, you know, like I got cut with like money wise, and it was just like just a lot of bullshit that I dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But how did you put your foot down? Like how did you essentially go, you know what? I'm done with this. Mm-hmm. I'm not just second fiddle, nor am I just like a hired hand, so to speak, to say that, hey, I know my worth. So basically that's what I'm trying to get at is
Okay.
how you know, what occurred that got you figuring out or realizing what your true worth was for the company going forward?
To be honest, like that dead weight, that person just needed to be like eliminated. It wasn't until that person was eliminated out of my life where I realized like he was it's just easier, okay?
Right.
Yeah, he was just holding me back on so much. And when he was trying to tell me like how to do my job, and when I did it and I can see how the crowd was or how like the clients were interacting with me, and he started having bad taste in their mouth with our company name previously, I knew like I needed to step up and change that. So once he was eliminated, then we figured out like what were the good things we would want to take from that, and then things that we can like elevate it. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
But there wasn't any like, because there's always like that next step, right? And I think that people they don't realize that there's a lot of there's still that like that kind of learning curve, like going from just, let's say, the hard hand to now knowing, being self-aware of what you actually bring to the table. Was it like an overnight thing, or was it just you had to kind of work on it, like, self-assurance, like kind of like go in and just basically look yourself in the mirror and says, no, I am better than that. I can do this much better than this person. Mm-hmm. So I need to be more vocal, because sometimes, being vocal is not necessarily like the easiest thing to do, right? Like at one point you're just like, I don't want to say.
Well, especially because the authority that he had on my life, I couldn't vocalize,
right.
I was like shunned, or like I was threatened or whatever. Like I couldn't do that. So for sure, yes, it took time. And like, I don't know, the easiest way I can explain is just as soon as I finally told myself like, this isn't healthy for my mentality, this isn't healthy for just me in general, and he was dismissed, then that was when I was like, okay, like let's reevaluate not only just the business, but more so personally. Mm-hmm. And that basically flowed into the business. And I think once I had a more healthy mental state and emotional state and all that, then that's when I was able to just put my all into what it is now.
So it's kind of like moving through the tunnel, and then the tunnel just kind of opens up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, there's actually like this paradise, so to speak, that I've been searching for, and then there's no longer walls that actually kind of keep me down or keep me enclosed. Yeah,
pretty much. Yep. Did you have anything like that for you?
You,
Vince?
Oh, like, so I'm so worried about like the settings and everything. I don't even know what the topic is. I'm just.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about this self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Like, how did you realize that you were, because you know, like, okay, there's this saying, and I think I saw it on Instagram, or Facebook or some shit. Like Ice-T actually posted it. Like, you're paying me not for my rate, but my skill. So like, when did you realize that you were actually, like, when did you realize that you're worth more than what you previously thought? Like, in whatever skill you have, whether it was photography, whether it was live streaming, whether it was DJing, was there like something that happened where you're like, no, I could actually do this?
Well, it wasn't so much of like a like I wasn't being held back. I feel like I wasn't free. Does that kind of make sense? I know I know they sound the same, but
Right.
you know, like, nobody, like, working at a camera store, that wasn't holding me back. That was actually pushing me. But then it wasn't until, you know, I started working for another company where I would get more information and then be able to apply that. Or, you know, it was the fact where when I was DJing and I was at clubs and they were always asking, oh, can you play Carly Rae Jepsen or something like that? And I'm like, dude, I'm freaking playing Tupac right now. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's fun to do that, like, sarcastically, but I can never do that sarcastically at a club. But then when I'm on Twitch or on other streaming services, I could do whatever the hell I want. I could play the Rugrats theme with like a Busta Rhymes instrumental. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where it becomes more fun. And then owning a studio, it was just like, well, now I could do whatever I want, however I want, with whatever I want, because I've rented studios before where they don't have the space or the equipment. And I was like, well, you know, why don't I stop complaining about what other people have and then just start doing things on my own? You know what I mean? So it was more in the sense where it was like, I was just tired of like making excuses for other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of creatives or people that want to venture into what their quote unquote dream job would be, is that they get stuck in the daily grind, right? The 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I think that because they're stuck in that 9 to 5, they just don't think about the other opportunities that they have.
Well, there was a aha moment for me where I was like thinking, I could stay at a particular position or work at this particular position and make more money, but by making, you know, honestly, by making less money by having a studio or being like freelance and stuff like that, I get to actually do what people that save money for do without having to save money. So basically I get paid to do what people save money to do. You know what I mean?
Like the studio?
Yeah, because like for example, if I wanted to go to the club every week, well, first off, that's not reasonable. But I mean, some people want to do that, and we had a lot of party friends that wanted to do that. But instead of doing that, where I'm working at such and such job and then saving so that I can go to the club, why don't I just put more effort into DJing, and then I can just be paid to go to the club, and then I kind of break even.
Right.
Right. Did that come more with age? Was it easier to realize that as you got older? Because for me now, it's like I have, like, you know, with anything that I try, I'm just gonna try it because I always think that I'm too old to think about whether or not it can or cannot happen. I just do it.
You can say that. However, I think that that's an unfair question, because at whatever point I was when I figured something out, the time that I didn't know that, I was obviously younger. So, you know what I mean? Right. So it's kind of an unfair question, but yeah, it comes with maturity, you know, like when you break down something and like, if you look at your expenses and you're like, oh, I'm paying this much to get into clubs all the time and buying drinks and paying for parking, versus, well, the club's going to pay me this much. I'm going to, you know, I can be more free with my time and then still break even. So it was just something where like by the way, like this month isn't all about rainbows. So it is also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So if you want to work on your mental health and you want to have like that more, more freedom where you get to make decisions and stuff like that, then yeah, it's
First, listen to the podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. Definitely listen to this podcast.
Yeah. No, I agree. And when you were talking about like the whole scared of like breaking out of the 9 to 5, like I'm at that point, you know what I mean? Like it's the comfortability of
the paycheck,
right?
Yeah.
It's
Well, I have comfortability in two different things. So like I happen to have enough hobbies that pay me where I don't have to take any of them seriously. To be honest with you, if I lost my day job, I'm decent enough at photography and DJing where I could just focus strictly on the studio and still keep my head above waters. I could do or be more active in like the event space where I can DJ or do photography for more corporate or wedding events.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, like I found a balance where I have that comfort where I get my insurance and my steady paycheck from my day job, but then I also have my release as far as like creativity and stuff by owning a studio, doing photography, DJing and streaming online.
You have that balance.
Yeah. And now, I'm at that point where I really don't care if I ever take a vacation, because if I take a vacation, if I take days off and stuff like that, I'm probably just going to do something that I kind of get paid for. So I'm still working anyways. Like if I had a week off, I'll just stream all week.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't want to go on a vacation. You just want to.
Yeah. If I was on
perfect your
vacation,
craft.
when I actually went on vacation, I was I went on a cruise. And the whole time I was on this cruise, don't get me wrong, it was fun because it was buffet 24/7.
Right.
So I was like,
All
yo,
inclusive?
gains. Yeah. And like I would eat like a watermelon a day. It was awesome. But
Wait, a whole watermelon?
a whole watermelon, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
I did that when I was pregnant.
Wait, a whole watermelon?
Yeah.
A day?
Yeah. It's delicious.
It's so delicious.
Yeah. But the whole time that I was there, I was like, okay, now I'm done eating. I kind of wish I was like DJing, or I wish like I wasn't scared of going overboard and I brought my big camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I did, but I mean, like, I wish I brought all my lenses. I wish I had my lighting. I wish I had, like, I could contact
The whole
clients.
studio.
Yeah, you
I
know.
can just imagine him in this room, like with all this.
Yeah.
You should just like on a wall put like some palm trees. You're like, okay, look, I'm in vacation DJ.
I have a green screen. I could do this.
Yeah, you could. You really could. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, by the way, happy late. Well, I mean, I texted you guys, but happy late Father's Day.
Well, thank you.
And I
Thank
saw
you.
your post about Alyssa was DJing with you.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So the best Father's Day ever, because she came by because I was working, unfortunately, because fuck fathers, right? According to like society, but
Oh my gosh.
so my daughter said she wanted to spend her lunch with me, and I was like, all right, cool. So come by. We're just hanging out together. I felt bad because like it's kind of boring at the studio for not doing anything. So what I did was I told her, do you want me to set up at the turntables? And she's all like, sure, I've never done it before. 4 hours went by and she was just like hooked, and she was like making remixes. She learned how to use stems. She was like matching beats. I was like, yes, all you have to do is scratch.
Yes. This studio has now become the Violinist School of DJing.
I guess, yeah.
Wait, do I get a certificate?
Yeah, valedictorian, bro. Your graduation's on August 11th.
Yes.
I'm about to say, I was like, I think that's when you get your diploma and everything.
Yep.
Well, yeah, we won't talk about that until later. Anyway.
Yeah, it's cake pop night.
Cake pop.
Yeah.
Dude, when you sent it to me, I was like, wait, is he joking? And then I saw you posted more on like different.
We actually had to take it down.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
We had to take it only because out of due respect for some of my friends are actually holding an event July 21st. It's a K-pop event at the same venue. We didn't want people to get confused as to which is happening.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? People are asking me like, did you take it down? I go, yeah, I took it down because of the event, which I'll be at anyway.
Yeah.
So
That's very respectful, by the way. Yeah.
Very.
So all the other DJs that's like, oh, best DJ, blah, blah, fuck you. Like, have respect for the people that are working together with you.
Yeah. For sure.
Or just respect for the music. Respect,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not here to gatekeep it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should put like K-pop night 2, but instead of TWO, it's TOO. So like also.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could.
So another one. Yeah.
Right. But
The
yeah.
buns.
So what do you think? You know, when we talk about strengths,
Oh yeah, we have a topic.
I mean, we do have a topic.
I was gonna circle back, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm circular. Yeah. So when we talk about strengths, I know there's a lot of, when I look at you guys, there's a lot of strengths that I see. Like, you know, whether it's fortitude, whether it's just, you know, being able to just block everything out and grind. What do you think is your biggest strength?
Oh, okay.
Or your
this
greatest
first?
strength? Yes.
Okay, so the reason I want to answer this first because it popped in my mind like magic. This is something that I learned from Rich. Is everybody sucks when they start.
They do.
And then we're just like stubborn, but we enjoy learning. So that's why I progress. But then I think that I you know how I always joke around. Well, actually, I'm kind of serious when I say like I'm a 4 and stuff like that. Look, I know my worth, so I'm already okay with like being bad and mediocrity on stuff. So I was like, yeah, I suck. This shit's normal. Everybody sucks. So I think that's where I gained my strength, is the fact that like I was just stubborn and I had a good time learning something. And then after a while, even though I progressively not being that bad, but even though it was a slow transition, I was still having fun. And I was still like, this is normal. It's cool. I shouldn't compare myself to Qbert. I shouldn't compare myself to, you know, like DJ Craze and, you know, Kuya Rich. So I was just like, all right, cool. Let me just keep going. I'm doing me. And then through that, then eventually people that didn't believe in me or didn't see my growth, they would see me like a month later and like, oh, damn, you could do that scratch? Or like, oh, shit, you juggle now? And it's like, yeah, so.
You're moving in silence.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome. I feel like my strengths, besides obviously now being a mom, that person, like even though it was like a fucked up mentality growing up, like if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have learned a lot of skills, obviously. And he taught me to really be hard on myself, which is, I guess, a strength and a weakness at the same time.
No, that's a strength. I teach my daughter that shit all the time. I'm like, yo, you ain't shit. Just letting you know, you better learn.
Yeah.
She's perfect.
What do you call that? Tough love?
Yeah,
Not just tough love,
yeah.
tough love.
It's
Yeah.
tough beat your ass
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for sure, I feel like me being hard on myself, I always want to push myself to always do better. Find out what's the next thing I can do better, even if it's just something small. And then I think I just have a really big support system. Like with you guys, of course, I know you guys support me going to my event, you know, even though I just opened and y'all came closing. No. And then,
Wait, first of all, how dare they have you open?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's
well, okay, like
the disrespect? Be uplifted.
The audacity.
Major main DJ opens.
Stop. No, okay, well,
Whoever
fair.
you are,
I asked for
I know
opening.
who you are. Next time she closes.
Oh my gosh. No.
I want to see a billboard with her on it.
Yes.
Oh, hell no. Okay, if that does happen, I only want you to take my picture.
Okay. And I'm definitely going to like subliminally put my picture on there too.
I want the
Oh, can it be the one with your like this?
Of course it's going to be that one.
Because that's your contact photo on my phone.
Perfect.
I just wanted to say DJ Lani Babes, and at the very bottom in small font with Asanas and Co.
Very small. Just 0.5.
Very small. Wow, 0.5 is small.
You said small.
We all can't see
0.5
it.
on a billboard. You know how small that is?
We're so blind we can't see that shit.
I can't see 0.5 on my phone. You expect me to read that shit on a billboard? God damn.
But like be uplifted, like, you know,
Right.
106 or something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so I feel like my greatest strength though is I have the biggest support system for my family and friends. Yeah. What's yours? Because you keep highlighting us. You've like dabbled in pretty much so many different things. What is you feel like your greatest strength?
I think it's being able to dabble in multiple things and understand that you can't burn yourself out, right? So, so for instance, obviously people have known I've been attempting to DJ for the last year or so, close to a year now. In August it will be, so we celebrate that 1 year, which keep in mind. But it's not something that it's not necessarily something that you do for 6 hours straight every day, because then you're just gonna burn yourself out. Like if I just tried to, like sometimes I'll sit here and I'll just learn to scratch, and I'll just, it's me knowing that sometimes you have to take a break.
I was so proud of him though. I heard him chirp. I was like, oh shit, he did it.
But it's like you have to stop and make and want it again.
Yeah.
So even if you stop in like for instance, like with drawing, like I'm pretty confident that I could draw pretty well. I'll sit there and I'll draw, and 20 minutes later and I go, oh, I'm over it. Then I'll just walk away. But then I don't know, maybe 5, 10, 15, maybe an hour, 2 hours later, I'm like, let's go finish that. Then I'll come back. So you're not necessarily like starting to hate the process.
See, ladies, these 5 minutes that I'm giving you, I'm not like, not admitting I'm bad. I'm just saying, yo, let me just
give you the best of me for now.
Yeah, let me recoup.
Just go hard just for those. And
I'm gonna be back tomorrow.
Yes, but it's also, I think my adaptability. I think I can pick up things fairly easy, and I think when I'm really into it, then I'll really pick it up a lot faster. Yeah. But it's just that you just have to, the whole adage, throwing enough shit on the wall, some of it's bound to stick. It works in some areas, but when it comes to like actually trying out and expanding your knowledge, that's always, for me, that's always been the best type of mantra or saying.
I needed your mentality like 10 years ago.
I did. I needed my mentality 10 years ago too. I mean,
like I needed the kuya. Like I needed my kuya 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, man. I wasn't a kuya then. I was just rich.
No, that's your fault. You weren't paying attention. You thought of me just hitting on Krista the whole time. Look, there were other girls too.
Well, and I was a baby though too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a baby.
Yeah. Well, how old are you now? Well. Yeah, 10 years ago,
I was 17.
Yeah, you wouldn't have you wouldn't have even been at a place. Yeah. I don't think. Yeah. Well, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I don't think you would have been at the place to actually accept that stuff yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I agree.
And that's why when I asked Vince, does it come with age? Sometimes it does. I think it's just your ups and downs and all your trials and tribulations actually leads you to more of your clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also why I let people learn things. If you ask for my advice, I'll give it to you, but I'll try to do it as nice as possible and try to let you come to your own aha moment. When Alyssa tries to do something and I know how to do it and I can just tell her, I'm like, well, why don't you try something that way? I've told her the lessons that you learn the hard way are the ones you only learn once. Or the ones that you only need to learn once. So,
hopefully
yeah, I let her make her mistakes, but then I'm there and I help her with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think mistakes are important, and I don't think like with my daughter. I mean, she makes mistakes, and her mom hates the fact that I just kind of shrug it off, and I'm like, but it's not something that's detrimental to anything, at her age. It's not life or death, these mistakes that she's making. Well, unless they really are like drunk driving or whatever stupid shit. But like, they're not life and death. So what you do is you learn from these mistakes. You learn why you made the mistake.
Yeah.
And then you move forward. And that, for me, it's like building a muscle. It's like you're callous, and then you're able to just, hey, okay, I've learned that. The wound heals, but the scar remains. I'll always remember that scar, and I'll move forward.
Yeah, like this one. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's learning from your mistakes. Now, not just making mistakes, but learning from your mistakes, that really builds character. Yeah. Like, look at all of my ex-girlfriends. I have the best character because of all those mistakes I've learned from.
Clip that.
Yeah, tag them on that shit. I don't give a fuck.
No comment.
Yeah. Now, it's always great to have strengths, but
Yeah.
but you know, we talk about weaknesses and recognizing weaknesses. Like, what do you think your one main weakness would be?
Give me a minute. I need to think about this.
Oh, so is it my
I have
turn?
a lot. Like I have a lot. I feel like
I'll take if you give one, because there's always that one that kind of prevails, I guess.
Legs. My squat game is whack.
I have seen his legs.
Yeah. I wear skinny jeans that are baggy.
Yeah, I mean, but building legs takes a long time, and people know that. It's like your back, you know. It just doesn't happen overnight unless you're Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we can't think.
I'm just thinking about my squats right now. Go ahead.
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Well, for me, one of my weaknesses is just sometimes it's, you know, the way I think, it's like I'll leave and I'll come back. I'll leave and come back. It just becomes so nonchalant. So it becomes like, it's almost like people can look at it like laziness or like I lack concentration. So, but sometimes that is like, I'll say, oh, fuck, I don't want to deal with this right now. And it could be important. It could be editing this podcast, like, let's say.
Yeah.
And then I'll go take a nap. And all of a sudden it's like, now I'm scrambling the next day to actually finish it because, you know, I didn't kind of just like bear down and go, well, let me just do the last 30 minutes of this fucking thing.
I feel like that's a guy thing though too.
Is it really?
At least what I've noticed from my experience with a lot of men in my life.
Just the mental exhaustion, I guess.
Yeah,
You're
like
just so
they're like,
mentally
oh,
exhausted.
I got time. I'll do it later. Or like, I'll do it in like 5 minutes, and then you ended up like procrastinating longer.
That's actually what I was gonna say. Was procrastination is something that I think my weakness is, but then the procrastination that I have is the fact that I talk myself out of things. I've told so many people, like, this would be one of the things, is I can say that I might be a hypocrite, where I keep telling people, yo, just do something, just do it. But then when I sit there and I'm thinking, well, I have all of these people that look up to me, I have to do it perfect, and then I end up not doing it. Oh, hold on. Oh, go on.
Okay.
That's why on August 11th, I volunteered Vince to be a K-pop DJ.
Is that how it was?
Yeah.
I was looking at like the pictures. I was like, what the? Oh, okay. Sure. I'm there. I mean, I'm there.
Look, technically I could do a whole 4 hours by myself, but it's always fun with friends.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Just add a little bit of a, what do you call this? Add a little bit of a variety.
I was laughing too because when you guys posted on the story, I was like, why is it not a K-pop song?
Well, because that's his. On mine it was, but I took it down before you even saw it.
Oh, okay.
I took it down last night, and then I called him this morning. I was like, hey, can you take that down? He wanted to be, you know, Vince, he wants to be funny, so he put like fucking Bad Bunny remix or some bullshit.
Okay, but yeah. So circling back,
To you,
to weakness, I feel like I'm always scared of like what would happen if I make a certain decision, like the what if. My weakness is always like what if, like for example, like if a client says that they want like their wedding is next month and they just book me now, you know, and they want this big extravaganza. Well, of course there's going to be some things that are like going to take time in order for me to like order it or whatever,
like
you know?
the flowers and shit like that.
Yeah. And I'm like, what if like, and I like try to give them different options. Like, okay, well, this is more reasonable, but I know that they really want this, so I'm going to really try. But of course I don't want to make a promise that I can't keep. So it just, I go like the safe route sometimes than to adventure out and try something more like out of the box or like bigger, I guess you could say.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's always, I mean, I think we fall into like the whole, like the what ifs, but a lot of times it's like, what if we didn't do it?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not too like well versed on like wedding planning and doing all that, but I would think you would have a Rolodex, be like, Kuya Manny, I need like, you know, like 17 dozen white lilacs or whatever by next week. Can we make it happen? And I'm pretty sure that, you know, you can make it happen. Yeah. And also just, you know, a reminder to people that are planning their weddings, you might have a plan, but your audience doesn't know the plan. They're gonna think it's a great fucking wedding, and you're the only fucking person that realizes that you missed a step on your dance or whatever bullshit.
Yeah.
Or that you're like 5 minutes behind schedule.
Yeah,
Nobody knows. Nobody
Yeah.
cares.
Yeah, nobody cares that they miss your fucking brother-in-law's fucking Dougie
Yeah.
performance. You know what I mean?
Don't even get me started with that shit. Oh my god.
You can remove it; nobody would ever know.
Yeah.
That's why they walk up to you at the end. Oh, I had such a great time, and you're fucking over there wasting your time being angry for absolutely no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? Now that I know a lot about weddings, I'm gonna look at something and I'm just gonna go at the end of the night and be like, "Hey, weren't you guys supposed to blah blah blah?" I'm gonna try that.
Weren't you guys supposed to have a song list?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was the worst.
Hey, what happened to your father's speech? Thought you guys were gonna do that. It's like, did I forget?
Right. Like even like okay. Speaking of that, like on my daughter's debut, they forgot about my speech.
How did they forget about you?
I don't fuck. Because I didn't plan it.
Oh.
Let's just say I didn't plan it.
Were you like part of her roses or?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
obviously, but I'm saying all the fucking ninangs. You're getting where I'm going.
Yeah.
Had their own fucking speech. The dad didn't. So, but you know what? I was fucking drunk as fuck. I was taking shots with my daughter. But we didn't care. You know what I'm saying? But like that's something that nobody ever. If you go back now and they ask people, do you remember Rich having a speech? I think we did. Yeah, I think he had a speech. No, I didn't have a speech.
Damn.
You sure? We're good?
Like 5 more.
Cool.
5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you have any advice to you guys? To anybody that's actually trying to find their worth or like kind of stuck? Because we all get stuck. Even now, we get stuck in a rut.
Yeah.
Try shit. Like like try stuff. Realize that you have to take things one step at a time, and enjoy the journey because it gets better.
Yeah. I mean, I know we like really highlighted the business, and there's so much more with like self-awareness and finding your strengths and your weakness and whatever and all that. But I feel like for sure when I found my self-awareness of things that I needed to elevate myself or just do better is just sit down with just yourself and really figure out what makes you happy, what is worth your time, what you feel like has a purpose for you, and just sit with it, and then really evaluate if it's something that it's worth fighting for or worth having. And then from there, like, just do it. Like what these guys were saying earlier is just throw a bunch of shit on the wall and see what sticks. And if
That's where I just went.
And be able this we're here now.
Yep. Right. I mean, you never know. You never know until you take that chance, which I should fucking probably take my own advice right now. But you never know, and you just gotta find happiness within yourself.
Right.
Oh, I have an advice. If you want to get good at something, teach somebody else.
Yes. There's a saying: see one, do one, teach one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like I have a homegirl that she has all of these dreams and ambitions. I was like, well, where's your plan? Write it down. She's like, I don't know how to do that. And so I bought her a passion planner. It should be coming in like a week because they're only $5 right now. Cause it's halfway through the year. So so I order her one and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to teach her how I do it. But that's also me doing it for myself. Mm-hmm. Same thing with like, dude, until Rich decided to DJ, I barely touched my turntables.
Right.
Yeah. Now it re-sparked that interest.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and another thing too, like if someone else is teaching you, you don't have to exactly do it how they do it. Like you adjust it to how you think would work best for you. And they're just giving, like, think of it as just like
your tools.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I know you said that we concentrate on the business, but I think it's very important that we actually kind of go that route only because people see the end goal, right? People see the goal and they go, oh man, I should have been a wedding planner. Oh, it's kind of cool. Like you're actually DJing now, like, or, you're actually, you're playing at clubs or whatever. But a lot of times people don't understand like what you had to do to get there.
Right. Yeah.
Right. People don't understand how, like people, like I'll tell people, okay, because some of my friends have asked me, what, I want to start DJing. I go, okay, then buy a controller. Because I'm not going to tell them to buy, turntables because they wouldn't know how to fucking use that thing. I mean, and they could, but I mean, the barrier of entry is a little bit, harder. But then it's like, but then they get it, then it's almost like a foreign language, right?
Yeah.
But nobody ever understands how you get from there to here. And I think that's important, is actually knowing that whoever you're looking at the end goal went through, or probably is going through the exact same thing you're going through at the same point in their lives.
That's true, because people only see like the highlight reel of your life because people only know that through social media.
Right.
Yeah.
So if, like people always go, wait, you've only been DJing a year? And I'm like, yeah.
And he's good as fuck.
Not really.
Whatever, Queen. You're so good. I love it. Like, I'm not front for it, like supporting, but when I hear you and I scroll, and I'm like, damn, don't be you doing this shit.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel.
Well, again, it's because, well, one, I love K-pop.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest K-pop fan. I'm sorry. No, fuck you. I'm not sorry.
I'm about to say, I was like, why are you sorry for
No. No, but then I think I get the enjoyment in kind of putting two songs together, or sometimes like doing, like mashing it up. It's just,
sure.
you get into it. But like people always go, oh, you've only done it for, people say like, oh, you've only done it for a year. But I really think that there's a lot of time, and there's a lot of like just confidence that you have to put onto yourself, or I guess maybe it's a lack of confidence. Like you just go, you know what? I'm just going to let it happen. And whatever, if I fail, I fail. If I don't, I don't.
Right.
If I'm stressing over there, like how to fucking blend properly, then I'm just going to get frustrated. You know what I'll do? I'll echo the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
There's options.
Yeah, there's always options for you to get to that route. And that's why Lani says, there's a lot of, if people are showing you, they're just showing you the tools. You don't have to necessarily follow it, but at least you have some sort of
foundation.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And and I think that's, when it comes to self-awareness, I think it's just, again, you build that foundation and to a point where you're like, no, fuck that. I want to do shit my way. And, don't be a dick either, though, to other people. But you do things your way and
have an open mind.
And that's how essentially how you grow. That's how we got to this point.
Right.
It's like, Ari decided she wanted to do a podcast, and nothing stopped her from doing it. I mean, she was doing it in her living room. Yeah. Well, actually, her dining room table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good memories.
Yeah. Dining room table, and it was just like, there you go. And all of a sudden, ta-da, we're here. And I'm here.
Right. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have more questions, make sure you guys put it down in the comments below, or even request, if you want to go more in depth, like we're more than happy to do that. Cause I feel like this was just kind of like a quick scrunch of like everything.
Right.
We didn't get into much detail.
Mm-hmm.
We're also in a time crunch because Lani has to
sorry.
leave because she's on her lunch.
I'm also on metformin. If you guys know, you know. That shit fucks with your stomach.
But also, you know how it is too. Like
Yeah.
that's how it is right now. So you're actually working, and you're coming here. You've actually made that you've scheduled this to come here on your lunch break.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gone again, and then Ari will come for the next episode. But
if you want it, you'll make it work.
exactly.
Yeah.
And again, that's what your mindset has to be. I want to get it done. I'm going to get it done. And if you know us personally, if you guys are one of our friends, or even not, just ask us, because we'll always be able to assist you in getting to that next level.
Right.
I'm not saying you're going to be fucking at the Palladium DJing. I'm just saying we can get you to Guitar Center tomorrow. You know what I mean?
I could send you my wish list on Amazon.
Right.
Hello.
With the little wholesale shop.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh. He'll send you the link.
Yeah.
But I'm on a time crunch, guys,
Yes.
and I'm sorry to end it this way. But yes, we love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us. And of course, thank you to all our sponsors. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.